Good evening and welcome to the December 13th meeting of the Beavercreek Park Recreation and Culture Board. We'll start, I hereby call this meeting to order and we'll start with a roll call, please.
Here. Here.
Here. Right. Thank you, Jackie. Board members, you have before you an agenda for this evening's meeting. If, whenever you're ready, I'll accept a nomination or
Motion.
motion to,
Motion to approve the agenda.
thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Off to a rough start this evening. All right. You also have in front of you the minutes from our previous meeting, and hopefully you've had a moment to look over those. I'll accept the motion to approve those minutes when you're ready.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor of the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Much better. Now we're moving. All right. So let's get on to some more exciting things here. We've got before us tonight the Girl Scout Troop 33339. Looks like connected to St. Luke's School. They're going to do something for us this evening. Welcome. Yeah.
In the late summer of 2022, a bug garden was installed in Fox Run Park, located at 3358 Southfield Drive, Beavercreek, Ohio. Four five 4232. As part of Girl Scouts Bronze Award project by Girl Scout Troop 33339, some of the girls in the troop were afraid of bugs, and many knew friends, siblings, and other adults and children who were also afraid of bugs. After doing research, the girls decided the best way to help people overcome their fears of bugs was through education. This garden was built to help people become more familiar with bugs through facts, pictures, and experiences. We hope you enjoy our garden. 12 girls made the garden.
Go back. Say.
With lots of hard work. Teamwork makes the dream work. Weather watch.
The girls managed to continue working through light rain, but had to call it when the lightning came.
Bugs. These are some of the bugs that the girls hope you will learn about in the garden and perhaps meet in person.
Bug hotels. Bug hotels are man-made structures built to provide shelter for insects. This bug hotel was custom-made by the girls in Girl Scout Troop 33339.
Water source for bugs. Bugs need water too. Some of the girls made special bug bowls by making concrete leaf prints and turning them into shallow bowls for the bugs.
Butterfly shelter. Butterfly shelters are necessary to keep these insects safe from predators. These beautiful butterfly shelters were built by Ayla, Becca, Emma, and Eva.
Finished garden close-up.
It is.
Finished garden up close too. Southwest corner and southeast corner.
Finished garden. Thank you. Girl Scout Troop 33339 would like to thank the Beavercreek City Parks Department for helping us to complete this project by providing us with soil, mulch, and gravel. We would like to give a special shout out to Zachary Wyke and to meeting with us and facilitating this project. Finally, we would like to thank all our neighbors, friends, and family for generously donating their permanents.
Oh, well, the pictures of the park look amazing. Great job. That is a great job. I have a couple questions. Anybody have a question
I
for
have
the troop?
one.
Go ahead.
I would like to know if your wood box that you used, did you have to use, that you made, did you have to use special wood that would attract the bugs, or?
The wood around the hotel is made out of cedar so that it will stay in the weather, but inside those cubbies are special compartments for the bugs. So there's one that's got bamboo shoots that are specific. There's also some that are already bored through the wood for like the wood borer bees and things. And then there's different pine cones, and there she's got a picture of it. So each one of those little cubbies is for different types of bugs to find a home.
Very cool, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So did you guys go back there after you got done with your project to see if it attracted any bugs?
So they did it at the end of August, and since we've been there, that hotel has had lots of spiders, which is one of the bugs that they wanted to attract. None of the ground beetles or any of the other ones in the ground have been there yet because it's still too disturbed. So maybe next spring we'll see some more visitors.
Gotcha. Go.
So are you no longer afraid of bugs, or did it make a difference personally?
Yeah.
Yes, some of us are still a little afraid of bugs, but we work hard to overcome that fear little by little, step by step.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, I have one last. Anybody else? I have one last question myself. What was the hardest part of that project? I saw you. I mean, you guys were doing digging and putting mulch down, and
I say the hardest part was the roofing.
okay, roofing the hotel.
You mean the hotel, or you mean the signboard? Both, the
Okay.
signboard and the
Okay,
hotel.
nice.
I do have one question. Did you do research to find out which plants to put on each corner?
You want to answer? We did both. Do you want to answer? You can answer. It's up to you guys.
Yes, we did research on bugs and plants to make sure which plants were good for the bugs.
Oh, very good.
Great, great. Well, I'm sure the community is going to enjoy that, being part of the park now. You all did a fantastic job. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do they know they don't have to stay?
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you again very much for that presentation and the project. So we're going to move on now to staff report. And the first item on staff report, I believe, is the naming of the new park.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Nope. No, it shouldn't. It's how you set it up to begin with. See if we can get through this. So good evening. When we last met in October, kind of went through the park naming policy. As you recall, we have a 148-acre park, kind of like around Shakertown, Patterson, and Grange Hall. Everybody names it something different, new park, research park land, it needs a name. One of the responsibilities for park board is to help name that park, and that's what we're doing here tonight. You'll bring 4 names to city council. Yeah, you're gonna, oh, got it. So just as a reminder, so our mission is to deliver recreational experiences that enhance the quality of life. Our vision is building a happy and healthy community by connecting people to quality parks, engaging programs, and unique events. Our values are connectivity, health and wellness, safety, inclusion, collaboration, and leadership. And our overarching goals are quality parks and facilities, improved connectivity, attractive programs and quality experiences, effective management, and efficient operations. So I'd like to review those just so that helps getting the mind ready to help name the park. As we went through the park naming policy, there's 3 different methodologies that can be used to name a park. One is after a new subdivision, such as Hunter's Ridge. So the park was donated or was part of a new subdivision. It's Hunter's Ridge subdivision. We named it Hunter's Ridge Park. The other is acquisition through a donation, and so that is if Mr. Corbett gave me $1 million, I spend $1 million on the park, he has naming rights. And if he wants to name it Eric's Grand Park, that is totally acceptable because he gave us at least 51% of the money for the park or land. The last one is acquisition through a grant or purchase, and that's the one that we did. So through community input, we sent out all the information, and the community was able to submit nominations of how they would like to name the park or what that park name would be. Some of the ideas, you could use the geographic location of the facility, a unique natural or geographic feature, adjoining subdivision, street or natural feature, or any other name befitting the parcel. Other considerations, the name cannot undermine the public confidence in the city impartiality. No park shall be given the same name as an existing school site or public facility, and it will not be named after a person or organization. After we had community input, we had 243 submissions. A lot of great names came forth. We had a really good time seeing those come through the computer. It's like very unique and there was a lot of thought-provoking names. So I appreciate anybody who submitted a nomination. They were great. After we closed everything down from the 243 submissions, I took all of those and I combined duplicates and removed any nominations that did not fit the criteria, such as somebody's name or if it was named after, like, I think we had Ankeny on there, but we have Ankeny School. That would not fit for the park. From there, we had 143 nominations that I sent to Park Board for you to kind of whittle down. And so I asked you to send in your top 10 from those 143, and then sent that list back out to you. And so here's where we get to the fun part of nominations and voting. So from that list, what do we have? Maybe 30? What you'll do is you guys will nominate names. You have as many nominations as you would like to. And then we'll go through and vote. If you want to discuss anything, you're certainly more than welcome to do that. But I just need to switch out my screen. Sorry. It didn't come up though. Have to do what? Oh, okay. Thank you. So what we'll do is as you nominate one of the names, I'll add it to the spreadsheet. We're going to go through all the nominations first until you're like, this is all the nominations that we want to see, and then we'll go through the voting. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm going to step to the computer.
Okay.
So I will go ahead and take if you want to
Okay.
shout it out or go
Okay.
around the room, I don't
Yeah.
mind.
Anybody who wants to share a nomination, maybe a sentence or two of why they're nominating that? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You're first on the list, actually.
I am first on the list.
For voting.
Oh, when we vote, oh, okay, all right. Well,
Throwing out there.
all right. I like Shaker Woods since there was a Shaker community adjacent to that and probably maybe went over, I'm not sure. I like Rolling Hill. I like because there is a hill there, and then I also like Spring House because there is a spring house on the property and it would definitely make people think, oh, well, that's where it is. And I like the Groves. The person who nominated that suggested that if we had the groves, then different parts of the park could be named certain kinds of groves so you would know where your picnic shelter is or whatever. So those are the 4 nominations that I like the best.
All right, I'll go next. I also like Spring House. She took 3 of mine.
What do you want to add?
Yours
We'll vote.
too?
Yeah, it's okay,
Okay.
because it's not about voting, so like, you
Right,
can
this is
put
just
like
about-
20 names up there to vote on.
Right.
So, yeah, we're just gonna go with,
Anything new? Yeah.
Okay, I will add Hopewell Park and Deerfield Park. And I think I'll add Shaker Town Park. That's it.
I will add Applewood Park. For me, yeah. I don't have anything else to add.
Apple Valley Park.
any other nominations? No? Yeah.
Just 1 second. Just 1 second.
Absolutely.
Just want to look. I don't want to look through the list one more time.
Yeah, please take your time. It's very intense in here.
Most intense board meeting ever.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm good.
Okay. Any other nominations?
No.
Okay. So we're going to close nominations. And so what we'll do is I'm just going to go from park to park. And let me sit down before you start going crazy. But so basically I'll say Shaker Woods. If you want to vote for that, you'll just raise your hand. You have 4 votes. And you can count as you go, but I will also let you know when you're done.
Question. Will we be able to, will Christina have an opportunity to vote or not here? That's what I thought. I just wanted to double check. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Anybody want to vote for Shaker Woods? Rolling Hills. Springhouse. The Groves. Hopewell. Okay. Sharon, you have 1 vote left. Deerfield. All right, Sharon, you are out of votes. Candy and Eric, you have 1 left. Cecilia, you have 3. Shakertown. Applewood. Apple Valley. All right. Cecilia, you only voted twice, right? Okay. All right, so our top 3. So right now, that was wicked loud. All right, so we have Springhouse. Oh, now I can't read. Hopewell. Deerfield, thank you. getting my steps in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase those three, and then any of the parks that had 0 votes, because we need a fourth, and you'll vote again. I'll let you know how many votes you get. Oh, no, my bad, thank you. Oh, perfect. Shakertown? Shakertown. No, we're good. We don't have to move on. We have our top 4. So we have Deerfield Park, Hopewell Park, Shakertown Park, and Springhouse, and those will be the 4 that basically will be submitted to the city manager, who will bring it to city council in January. Perfect. That went way too smooth. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. And then whenever you're ready, we're on to the division reports. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. Right, thank you. See, so who's going to talk about the Greene County Council on Aging relationship? Tyler is. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, the Senior Center, Council on Aging. I can draw a line.
I need to get the mouse in the right place. I don't need to? Okay. Well, good evening, Park Board. I'm just going to detail for you a little bit the relationship of the Greene County Council on Aging and some of the funding that they provide to the Beavercreek Senior Center on an annual basis. Okay. Before I get into the funding and some of the different grants they offer, I just want to tell you a little bit about the Council on Aging. They are a not-for-profit organization that promotes independence and quality of life for senior citizens in Greene County and their caregivers. Their mission is to, again, promote independence and quality of life through a comprehensive and coordinated system of contact, care, and support. These are just some of the objectives. They have more on their website, but here are a few that I picked out. Again, promoting care options for senior adults and their caregivers, sharing information, and offering programs about senior issues, health issues, caregiving issues. And then also taking those federal, state, and local funds that they receive and distributing them wisely to different organizations in Greene County. So we promote all Greene County Council on Aging programs and events at the Senior Center. We partner with them to actually offer some of them at our building. Some of those would include a monthly Slice of Knowledge program, care manager meetings where they send one of their care manager employees over and our members are able to meet with them without scheduling an appointment, just as a walk-in. They offer grief support groups and caregiver support groups, legal chats, shredding services twice a year, and numerous special events throughout the year as well. So here's kind of the overview of the types of grants that we can apply for with the council. I'll go into each one in detail. The first, and this is our main one, this is called the Transportation and Senior Center Services Grant. The levels for this are determined in part by community population figures. So Beavercreek has 33.1% of the senior population in Greene County. Because of that, we do receive a larger piece of the pie for those funds. So you can see the breakdown there, totaling $288,773. And the revenue from this grant actually covers more than half of the expenses in our operating budget. So again, this one is broken into 2 parts. The transportation side of it can be used for things like operating and maintenance expenses, also personnel. So I think we have an employee who is our transportation coordinator. This can go towards part of her salary. We place priority on medical transport. We do go outside of Beavercreek for those. Second on the list would be basic needs things like banking or groceries, and then, behind that, personal or social trips.
Hey, Tyler, when you say medical transport, you mean like taking people to doctor appointments and that kind of thing?
Correct. We don't do emergency, yeah. And then the other half of that grant, the Senior Center Services, again, supports our operations, maintenance, general operation, programs that we run, used for capital purchases, used for personnel. We cannot use it for new construction. There we are. So special grants, again, this is one that we can apply for annually. We have seen this amount change over the years, but the last few it's been $5,000 can be requested for either equipment, supplies, upgrades to our building space, trainings, or matching funds. For example, we apply for vehicle grants with the Ohio Department of Transportation. These funds could be used to help our share of that. In recent history, this is commonly used for things like fitness equipment. We've done a new PA system in the great room, so things that we may not have included in our operating budget. I clicked the arrow that time and it still didn't go. Thank you. Okay, so vehicle grants are not one that we can apply for every year. Actually rotates between the, I believe, 9 senior centers in Greene County. We were actually up for one this year, and we did purchase a new Ford F-350 transportation van for our fleet. Up to $40,000 can be requested, and no match fund is required. However, vehicles typically will cost more than that $40,000, so we will have our own share to pay as well. And this one was actually new in 2022. The council's board approved a 20% increase in transportation funding for the year. This was made due to the significant increase in fuel costs that we saw earlier this year. And then reporting, so I submit 6-month reports, an annual report, and then all the grant applications to the council in accordance with their funding terms. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Tyler?
So one of my neighbors said that there's a grab bar program in Greene County. Do you know anything about that?
So the Greene County Council on Aging will send people out to residents of Greene County's homes and install things, mobility items, accessibility items, things like grab bars or wheelchair ramps, things of that nature.
If somebody's interested in that program, would they contact the center, or would they contact?
They can call the center, and we can put them in touch with the council, or they can contact the council directly. You're welcome.
Generally, how far in advance do you have to submit the grant request for the next year?
How far? So for the 2023 Senior Center Services and Transportation Grant, I believe that is due at the end of January. So,
Okay. Thank you. Good, nice report, Tyler.
thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We have a full agenda tonight. Kim, you're trusting me to advance? Oh, okay. No. Okay, I'm just sharing a few highlights over the past couple months and upcoming. We had a volunteer appreciation night last week, actually, over at the Beavercreek Golf Club. It was a very nice. This was for our senior center volunteers only. So this was kind of our internal event. The staff always likes to do something extra special for the volunteers at the senior center, and you all know how important they are to our functions of the senior center. So that was a really fun night. Had a great catered meal and a presentation from a guest speaker. And it was on the funniest moments in film. And then coming up, but is already sold out, I'm sorry if you didn't get a spot, is our Christmas luncheon next week. It is from noon to 1:30 at the Beavercreek Senior Center, and there's a whole list of sponsors, and they really make these special events possible and help keep them low cost for our seniors, which is part of the reason they sell out so quickly. Get a delicious meal and luncheon for $5 if you're a senior center member. Over in the general recreation category with our community events, we did have a Veterans Day ceremony back in November. It was a rainy day. We had about 75 attendees, though. That's one thing about this community. Obviously, our veterans are very important to us, and we can always count on the public to come out, even in the worst weather, to celebrate their veterans. So I do want to thank our mayor, Bob Stone, the Wright Pat Air Force Base. They brought their brass band out. They're called the Spirit of Freedom. We had Peace Lutheran Church pastor Carrie Hovland, the Beavercreek Air Force JROTC, which is actually the picture you see there, is the JROTC group. We had a guest speaker from the base, Chief Master Sergeant Jamie L. Newman, and VFW Post 8312 was able to come and support our event as well. And then happening now, the park at Wartinger Park over on Kemp Road is decorated. We started doing this when COVID happened and have kept it. We have a different community organization that has decorated the outside of each cabin. So the Beavercreek Historical Society, the Green Optimists, the Lions Club of Beavercreek, and the Kiwanis Club of Beavercreek have each decorated one of the historical homes. So you can go there, and there's signs at the park. You can scan your QR code with your phone and vote on your favorite one. And then we've also added some lights along the pathways and a wreath on the barn and a few other lights throughout the park. And then on Saturday this week, you can come out and enjoy our in-person event called Winter Welcome at Wartinger Park. It's from 10:30 to 1 this Saturday. Of course, Santa will be there. One of his reindeer, I heard he's going to be able to bring along. We've got some Christmas carolers, some cookies and cocoa, different crafts and activities, and all of the buildings, including the barn, all the historical homes will be open with different activities happening in each of them. Do want to give a special shout out not only to those event partners that have taken over and done an activity and decorations in each of the homes, but also the Greene County Public Library. They're actually our main event partners who help put the whole event together and help foot the bill of the event as well. So we really are appreciative of those Beavercreek Community Library partners. Moving on over into our parks side, we do want to highlight our parks maintenance staff. They've done an awesome job planning and decorating the outdoor decorations at the park. That is actually a picture of one of our employees, Tony. You can barely see his neon jacket there against that bright blue sky. Obviously, that wasn't this week. We haven't seen blue skies in a few days. Putting the lights up on that tree, and I can tell you that there's been several of our staff members who are just oozing with holiday spirit that we didn't know, and we've definitely tapped into that. They're going above and beyond, thinking of new ideas, coming to me or coming to Kim and saying, oh, but do we have this? We need this. We need more lights here. We need some garland and bows here. So that's pretty fun. That's pretty fun to see. And then, in case you didn't know, all of our outdoor restrooms and water fountains are closed, winterized for the season, with the exception of Beavercreek Station. Those restrooms are heated, so they are open year-round, but anywhere else, plan accordingly. Some of our larger parks, you might find a portalet, but for the most part, plan ahead before you go to the park. Any questions?
Thank you, Erin.
Thank you.
All right, old business. Yeah, I guess this falls in that category. Feels like we are always year-round planning now for volunteer recognition, and we continue to do that. And Had some discussion about that, and we have some ideas for some things we're going to be rolling out publicly soon, as well as preparing to identify another volunteer of the quarter coming up in February. It's in touch. Anything else in old business I'm not thinking about? Not really.
Could you give us an update on the new park?
Did you say, can I or did I? I can. Sorry. That's an appropriate question. Yes, so we have finished, we did 2 public forums to show 2 concept plans. We also put that online and had an online survey. We had over 2,000 submittals for that, which is fantastic. Now, with those being open-ended questions, it's going to take a little bit to kind of weed through the results and put all that together. But we'll get all that to Brandsetter Carroll, who's our consultant. And what they'll do is they'll take everybody's comments, including the tours that we did with council, with park board and staff, and get that down to one concept. We are looking at, I think, one of the council meetings in February, present, if you want to say like another draft concept plan to city council, let them make comments. We would have it out for the public as well. We're not going to do any more public forums or anything like that, but we'll have that on the website. And at that point, too, we'll have some ideas of budget numbers, and they'll help phase it out. And then, like, I think in March, we'll start working through that. So we have a lot of great comments from everybody, and so now we're just whittling it down to get it to one concept plan. And we'll have a park name at the end of February, or January, hopefully.
Great, thank you. New business, any upcoming volunteer opportunities?
Always.
Other than Saturday, or along with Saturday?
Yeah, so along with Saturday, I know several of you have already volunteered to help on Saturday at the Winter Welcome event, so thank you very much. I know there are others who would like to and are unable, and that's okay too. We appreciate the positive vibes. We are doing setup on Friday at 10 a.m. at the park, if you're able to make that. And we are looking for additional members who want to be a part of our 4th of July committee. We just started planning for 2023. So anybody who's interested in having a hand in the 4th of July celebration, which is on July 4th at Rotary Park in 2023, let me know. Give our Parks Department a call or an email. And then our senior center is always in need of volunteers, of course, but is in extra need, I would say almost dire need, of transportation volunteers.
Transportation drivers and escorts, especially as we enter this winter season when we lose some of our snowbird volunteers. An escort pairs with the driver and operates our tablet that has our transportation software on it that kind of shows them where to go for each trip. It also provides the door-to-door service to the rider, so helping them out their front door, onto the van, and into their destination.
Thank you. We're good? All right, awesome. Thank you, Aaron. Next item on our agenda is unscheduled visitors. We've got a couple folks in the audience tonight. Was anybody expecting to have some comments or anything they wanted to ask or share with the board? Okay. Then moving on to action items. We had a pre-meeting tonight, and have a couple action items related to a January meeting, which I could share with you, Cecilia, afterwards, related to our volunteer program. So we'll be working on those and ready to come back in January and move forward, which moves us on to board time. So does anybody have anything they want to share for board time?
I just want to shout out a big thank you to the Girl Scout Troop 33339 for coming in and sharing their project. It's a really neat idea, and they really look like they worked hard between the butterfly houses and the bug house. I mean, they really put a lot of effort into it, so big thank you to them. And also, if you haven't seen the city's Facebook video that's out, I think it just came out today, but it shows all the things that the city has done for 2022. It's a really well put together video showing from parks and senior center and everything. It's really cool. So I don't think you have to be a Facebook member to just get on Facebook and type in Beavercreek, I don't know, municipal something, and what
It's
would
on
you-
the website as well.
Is it on the website? Yeah. Okay, that makes it
Saber
easier.
Cam, Saber.
Yeah.
I didn't know how long I should let that go.
Oh, thanks a lot.
I got
Let
you.
me stumble through it. But it's a really nice video. It's worth watching. I don't know, it might be a minute, minute and a half. It's not long, but it's really nice. Nicely done.
Great. Thanks, Candy.
And I just want to encourage everybody to come out this weekend to the Wardinger Park winter event. It is a lot of fun, and the reindeer is there, which is a lot of fun as well. And they even can take pictures with your family in the sleigh. So make plans and come.
Right.
We also are doing donations for Feed the Creek. So if you're coming, grab some canned goods, non-perishables, and bring them. We'll have a barrel there also for you to drop those off in.
Great, thank you. And I'll add, I don't know if all of us were able to do it. We had the opportunity to go out and tour the 148 acres for the new park, and I really appreciate the staff doing that, taking us out there. And it was really eye-opening. 140 acres is a big space, right? You realize that just by hearing it, but until you really see it and the different areas within that space, it's really hard to comprehend. And made me even more excited for the community as we move forward with that project. So appreciate that opportunity. Anything else?
I just think it's great how many community members are excited about this park, and the 2,000 that you quoted is just like crazy. And you think of Beavercreek as kind of this home community, and it's just so exciting to see people reach out and get involved in the process.
Great. Thanks, Cecilia. With that, if there's nothing else, I will accept the motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Have a second? All in favor of adjourn, say aye.
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 Meeting adjourned. Thank you.